Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, what's happening?
It's another weekend of Up North Journal podcast.
That's right. And it was the Sunday before Christmas.
And all through the cabin, the coffee was flowing.
Yes.
Which makes me not want to napping.
You're not going to be napping, pal.
Hey, Michael Ryder. He is on early. Randy Duncan, hey, what's going on? We're going to do a little sharing here real quick, and we will be on our way. So, we're going to be talking about some big bucks tonight. Some stuff going on in the news with some big bucks. 3 of them in particular, just in case you haven't noticed here lately. That's what we're going to cover tonight. A couple other things as well. So if you got anything you'd like for us to talk about or any questions, make sure you throw them our way. So hopefully everybody's got their shopping done. If not, you can go to huntersblendcoffee.com and put an extra quick rush. I don't think it'll get here by Christmas, though.
I don't think so.
But it'll get here by New Year's. So, hey, got that going for you.
Right?
I've got to get my phone in the right spot here to do some sharing. So, have a good week, Danny?
Absolutely. How about you?
Yeah, not bad. Worked a lot, but actually had to work today. So, just trying to get ready for the holidays.
That's right. All right. I think.
One more and I'm ready.
Okay. I got that. Got that. Go over here. Do this.
Okay. I am ready.
All right.
Your daughter is watching too, keeping an eye on you.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
So what do you think? You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. Your host Mike Adams sitting in the cabin as Danny is slurping his coffee.
It tastes pretty good.
Hunter's Blend.
Hunter's Blend, that's right.
I'm going on my second pot tonight.
Is this the regular blend or the dark roast?
This is a dark roast, and I'm fired up, man. I am jittery. I'm like Jittering Joe, man.
Oh, great. Hey, Tammy Duck says Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Right. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Jason Fister tuning in.
Hey, Jason, what's going on? Jared Carpenter's
a man from Ohio. We're going to talk a little bit about Ohio.
We are going to, actually, $2 from Ohio.
Yeah.
Before we get started, as we always say, Hunter's Blend Coffee, one of our supporters here at the Up North Journal, if you go over and order off of their webpage at huntersblend.com, you can actually use the UNJ promo code, and you can save 10% on your order.
Absolutely. So, go out there, get some coffee delivered right to your doorstep.
Yep. They got some cool new cups and all kinds of good stuff over there besides coffee.
Right, exactly. They just don't have coffee.
Can you tell I'm fired up tonight?
Yeah, I can tell. That's good.
Too much coffee.
Were you fired up when you were at the gym?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I went yesterday. You want to start there?
We can start there.
All right. Yeah, we actually, Danny and I, we've talked about this a little bit.
Jared Carpenter, Merry Christmas. Ronald Moses, Merry Christmas. Look, Merry Christmases are just
all over the place.
Flying in.
Yeah. Travis Menton. Hey,
Bob and Cindy.
Tuning in.
Merry Christmas. All right. Gotta like it, guys. You know, it's one of those things, as we get into the Christmas season,
well,
we're still going to hit the gym.
Absolutely. And, I had to work today. You went this morning.
I did go this morning.
I went last night. I took a quick trip into town. I had to get some light bulbs. We had a couple burned out bulbs here. So I was right near the gym. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go do some cardio tonight. So I had my gear with me, and I went in the gym. And actually, it was pretty dead in there. And I spent an hour and 35 minutes on the bike.
Excellent. Good job. How's your buttocks?
Sore.
What happens when you get for an hour?
Right. Hour and a half. Hour and 35 to be exact.
That's what happens.
26 miles on the bike, which equates to, on my bike, about 16 and a quarter miles. That's what I figured.
Gotcha. So. Jared Carpenter. Yes, we are based in Michigan. We are just south of Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, where are you from, Jared? Throw in there where you're from.
Where are you checking in from?
So
you did an hour on the bike.
Yep.
Yeah, that seat formed to you really nicely.
Right. And well, you and I, we did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we kind of switched it up a little bit, and we did our regular 3 workouts and moved the cardio to Thursday.
Which would have actually moved it to Friday, because Thursday we went over to Beyond the Years.
Beyond the Years, yep. They had a special event over there, which we can talk about a little bit in a minute. But we didn't do anything Thursday, that's right. So Friday we go. You went, and then I went with my wife.
Yes, I went Friday morning, got up, went over there, and you know what? It was, when did I get over there? About noon, probably in the 11 o'clock hour. Mm-hmm. It was pretty busy.
When we went, it wasn't too bad Friday evening. So I did some cardio that day. And, yeah, like I said, I went back again yesterday and hit it again. And I don't know. You ever run on a regular basis?
Run or?
Run. Yeah, like, doing like, outdoor running.
Not, well, long time ago, but now that I've been back in the gym.
Have you ever got the runner's high?
Yes, you get it after
many miles when you hit the wall?
Yes.
Well, that's kind of the way I was yesterday.
Okay.
I got into about that hour and 5 to hour and 10 range, and I just kept pushing, and all of a sudden, it's just like a switch went off. And really, they're going to close within that hour frame that I was there, and I'm like, yeah, I think hour and a half's enough. But I could have went more. I mean, it was I hit that spot, and I've only hit that one other time when I was riding my regular bike. But we're getting in shape for the outdoors.
That's right.
That's what we're talking about, and what we're trying to do.
Getting in shape for the outdoors. Jared Carpenter's checking in from Clare, Michigan.
Clare. All right. Yeah, I used to hunt up that way a while back, a few years back.
Yeah, but we are getting in shape. You're going to be a great ice tester. You're going to be heading out first with all the gear on.
I'm not testing the ice.
You are.
I'm going to throw you on the ice.
You can pick me up.
I have seen some ice too.
You know what? I've kind of seen some ice.
People are fishing already. You told me that you saw them on Bevins Lake over in Holly.
I hope. I don't know if they are now, but
right.
I noticed the mill pond over there.
Mm-hmm.
Was had a thin crust. The ducks were on the edge where the open water was. So hopefully, just be careful if they're going out there.
Ron Moses, get that pulling shanty with no machine in the heavy snow. There you go. That's what we're building up for, man.
That's right. We're
gonna make Danny pull it.
We're gonna be just like him pulling that semi.
Right on, absolutely. Hey, Matt Howard's joining in. I think we're gonna have a lot of guys and gals in the cabin with us tonight because Christmas is 2 days away. It's the weekend. Everybody's off work, and they want to see you.
Well, they also because they're probably tired from shopping. They finished up their shopping today because unless you got last minute things you need to do tomorrow.
Right. Speaking of ice fishing, let's get this out of the way real quick. Probably can't see this too well, but it's not too bad there. Let me see. Let me drop this name banner here so everybody can hopefully see this. We'll do that.
Ron Moses says they picked someone up on Pontiac Lake today.
Oh, jeez. Stay off the ice until it gets good. BB's Bait, Pike Masters Classic. This is over at Spot Shooter Archery in Holly, Jim Beasley's shop over there that we frequent quite often. He's got a bait and tackle shop in there, and they're holding their Pike Master Classic. This contest is from first ice until March 1st. And it's going to cost you $15 entry fee unless you go in before January. If you get there before January and get into this tournament, it's $10.
Okay, so $10 before January 1st, $15 after.
Yep.
It's good for any pike
in Michigan.
In the state of Michigan.
Yep. Caught in Michigan waters.
Yep. You just got to go in, register, and get the rest of the rules on how if you catch one, how you turn it in.
And cash prize to the winner, 50% of the entry fee money goes to the winner. The other 50% goes to the Holly VFW, which is a pretty cool organization and giving back to our veterans.
Okay.
So, and the winner is the longest pike. It's not on weight, it's on length. So,
and like you said, stop by there, check in, register, get all the regular regulations and rules that he has for the contest. So it looks like Ron Moses and Tammy Delk are Ron Moses finished shopping and Tammy Delk is heading out shortly to finish shopping.
I thought you were going to say to start.
I hope finish.
How about you? Are you done shopping?
I'm done.
That's good.
Finished up.
I think
odds and ends were yesterday. I think I got to run out one more time.
Yeah, I think we're done. As far as I know, we're done.
But yeah, so we're ready for Christmas. But in the news, there's been some stories these last couple of weeks that have been flying around about big bucks being shot, poached.
Right.
So take your pick where you want to start. You know, we thought we'd talk a little bit about deer hunting.
Well,
some nice bucks out on the areas.
I would rather start with the worst news and finish.
Oh, start with the bad news first. Okay.
Yeah. So this is let me put the picture up here. This is an Ohio buck, and this buck was poached, and we got a little bit of the story here. So let me find the. This is a 26-point Coshocton County, Ohio buck that was poached. And in a nutshell, this thing was a 26-point buck, and it was shot November 7th by a guy named Junior Troyer, a local Amish man, and it scored 229 inches was the score of this buck. And long story,
it's a great little story, because that wasn't the person that was actually after it. Another person was after it.
I think a lot of people were after this buck.
He was starting to get trail camera photos of it, right?
Right.
And like it says in the story, when somebody gets the buck you're kind of after, you kind of want to know the details.
Right.
So the story goes, he's trying to get details out of the taxidermist, and it was kind of really evading all the questions, and can I see it? Can I look it? Can I touch it? Right?
Right.
He's only seen photos of this thing, but it's just one of those things that it's disheartening.
It is. It is. You know what? Hang on one second while
Yep.
I'll
I'll entertain the people.
I've got
Jim Beasley is watching. Jim, what's happening? Denny Steiner from Illinois.
I have got a record issue going on.
Yeah, you do. So find out where we're at, and we'll pick it up where we have to.
Right.
It'll just be like repeat version for the people on Facebook.
96A. Okay.
Ron Moses, sweet baby Jesus. Yeah, no doubt about it.
It's a tremendous buck, and like you said, the guy, this guy that had it on trail cam, Tori Hardesty, had been hunting this deer for several years. And he had a lot of information on it.
And he had a little group of friends that knew about this buck. It wasn't really wide known, this buck, and so they were kind of like, all right, let's. And then they heard that somebody got it, and then he was just naturally asking questions.
Yeah. Well, so they find out the taxidermist that it's at, this guy that had been hunting this buck, and like you said, the taxidermist was evading letting him see it. He was worried about somebody stealing it. He said,
yes. At first, it was, I didn't want you to steal the antlers. Then the next time was, I got to take my kids to the movies. And then the third time was no answer.
Yeah, no answer.
So kind of put the old little question mark above the head and said, what's going on?
So what this guy did, seeing how he knew the buck pretty well and had been hunting it, he actually called the Ohio DNR and got them involved in this, and they went over and took a look at the buck.
Right.
And they did some research on this and found out that it wasn't actually registered in this county. Then they started looking in the adjoining county.
Wasn't registered there.
Tuscarawas County. I can't pronounce it, but that's the next county over. But they didn't find that buck had been checked in there because Ohio has a mandatory deer check.
Yeah.
And
one buck rule too, right?
Yeah. Then the game warden checked Holmes County, and sure enough, 26-pointer had been checked in. He said, realizing the buck could not have been shot in Holmes County, the game warden paid Mr. Troyer a visit, and this person totally denied any wrongdoing, but the game warden wasn't buying it.
When you see a buck like the one you got up there on the picture, that can you imagine seeing that on your camera?
I'd have a heart attack. I'd have a stinking heart attack if I seen that thing come flying in. I mean, it's just incredible.
Right, it is. And then, upon further investigation, pressing him for more information, the story is kind of actually
it got even worse.
It did, because the guy who went in, and it got even worse because this guy, even the gentleman who was after the buck, says that he's had like $700 in trail cameras stolen off this property this year alone.
Right.
So not only did he not get a chance at the deer, he's losing cameras.
But the guy who shot the buck, after being questioned several times, said he admitted to shooting a 130-inch 8-pointer the morning of the 7th. He then went out to hunt that evening. But wait a minute. Ohio's a one-buck state, right? He went out hunting again, and he had this buck was nicknamed Hayrake. He had Hayrake walk by him, and he let greed set in on him, and he shot the buck. He decapitated both bucks, taking the body of the 8-pointer and the head of the 26-pointer as one buck and tagged it. The next morning, he returned and took the headless body of the 26-pointer and checked it in as a doe. In the meantime, he took the head of the 8-pointer and threw it in the ditch, which the law enforcement officer eventually recovered. And
I have a really goofy question.
Okay.
But how do you take a body of a buck and claim it as a doe?
I imagine it was already field dressed. I mean, and cut the
genitals
off, you know.
Really, you're not supposed to do that.
No, well, I don't know. I don't know what Ohio law is.
Right. So but anyways, it's a sad thing. It's just, you know, this gorgeous, like it says in the article, it's a shame that this buck is going to adorn the office of the Ohio DNR.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Not in somebody's living room. Not in. It's not going to happen.
And they said that they aged it, and it was only 4.5-year-old. That was a 4.5-year-old.
That was 4.5 years old.
4.5-year-old buck. And they said the gentleman who had so many trail cam photos of this buck over several years, plus the fact he had some cameras stolen and all that, he said he had so much information on this buck and his neighbors that they had seen it on camera, that the thing that made this deer so hard to hunt was the fact that it couldn't be patterned because it had no real true core area.
That was one of the things that I took away from reading this article. Was you know, you try to pattern the deer, but they couldn't. They couldn't find a core area. They couldn't find a pattern. It was just like almost like a ghostly moving deer.
Right.
Right. You know, it didn't stay in one spot, and it didn't have a core area to have one spot, but is like.
And also the guy that nicknamed this buck that was doing the investigation on his part to try to find out who killed it said that he actually had the buck at 40 yards a few days earlier on October 25th, and he said he needed to take 3 more steps to clear some brush for a clean shot. And the deer hit the trail where he had walked in and just turned and walked away. So
Sniffed him out.
Yep. I mean, that buck, I mean, if I had something like that walk in front of me, I don't know what I'd do, man.
Well, as Denny Steiner puts it, that's some kind of special kind of stupid. And you're right, Bradley. Very sad. Very sad indeed.
But I mean, look at the body on that thing. It's
for a 4.5-year-old deer. Could you imagine putting another year on that? Another 2 years?
Yeah, right.
Before the decline starts to set in on the body of a deer.
Simply incredible.
It is incredible. Just, you know, and to get a kind of a broadside view of it is actually pretty amazing. Because some of these bucks you might just catch like a little bit or like a further away picture, right, or half of a rack or something like that. But this is like, hey, look at me.
Yeah, it's like you knew where the camera was and just walked up and like, hey, take a look at this.
Here, I'll turn to my good side because this is the only thing you're going to see.
Now, okay, getting back to the guy who was hunting this thing the right way. If you had this on your trail camera, how many people would you let know about this buck?
If I had that, it would be very limited to the amount. It depends on the situation. Like if you're hunting public land, yeah, I'd be worried about that.
Right.
Because you'll have people following you to and from your home to your local hunting spot. Private land, where I'm at, I know most of the people that I'm going to show aren't going to show up there.
Right.
You know, so I would have no problems doing that. But I'd be definitely public land. Yeah.
So you wouldn't bring a trail cam photo in and tell her, bring it on the show here and tell everybody what you're hunting, show everybody.
Right, exactly, and kind of give them a map and here, want me to draw the outline. But yeah, man, it's sad, but man, what a majestic animal just to be caught on camera.
You already shot a 130-inch 8-point, and then you just kind of discard the head. You know, and try to fudge the system to turn this thing in. I don't know. I don't get it. Some people just don't play by the rules.
Yep, it's plain and simple. I don't even know. I have a hard time understanding, even at that point, checking it in. Right? I know you have to do it by law in Ohio, so that's why he did it. But was he looking for the heroism afterwards? Because eventually something's gonna.
Well, didn't the story say that they didn't want the guy didn't?
Well,
the taxidermist told the guy looking for the information on it. He said that the gentleman who shot didn't want it scored, didn't want any publicity.
Right. It was just not it. And the guy's like, "What? Mm-hmm. You know, a buck like this?
Yeah.
Like this isn't a lifetime buck. No, not at all. Right?
What did he say? It scored 229 inches?
229.
I mean, that's that's going on the cover of a magazine somewhere.
And you're right.
If you'd have taken it legally.
And you're right, Jared. When it gets to the greedy point, they don't care. But I don't know. It's one of those things that there's going to be so much out there about this buck. It's not like, I don't know. I have a hard time that whatever, if he didn't get caught, would he ever get caught?
Right. I don't know.
You know, we'll never know, but it's going to be in the Ohio DNR office somewhere.
You know, getting back to the guy who had the trail cam photo of it and was doing the digging on it, have you ever had a buck that just drove you nuts, that you were hunting, that you knew was there, knew it was in the area, that you stayed after? Have you ever had that happen?
And not per se. It's like we've seen them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, we're going to keep hunting this area. And we never seen him after that. We see him at a distance, like through the woods. We have had that happen. So we're like, okay, there's a buck here.
Right.
So, but nothing, not since we started putting out the trail cameras all the time and using them more.
Okay.
Now that, I tell you what, that adds to it. You get a picture on camera and it's like, okay, where's this buck at? What area? And then you start looking for him on different cameras. And it's like, okay, he's not showing up here. He's not showing up here. We'll stick to this area.
The closest I've come to that is the one I was hunting 3 years ago,
Yep.
Night Train.
Yep.
You know, I got that buck twice on camera, 3 times on camera. And I actually laid eyes on him at about 100 yards and watched him feed. I was during bow season and watched him feed for half hour at least. And yeah, that buck kind of drove me nuts that year.
The one buck that it really happened to us on, now that it jogged my memory, is we were out kind of in the back of the property where we don't go to a lot, but we were just kind of out frogging around, and we put a camera up and we left and we came back the day later, and this big 9-point was there less than an hour after we set the camera.
Okay.
So it was like, all right, and I knew where I was hunting, but we never seen hide nor hair of them after that, and it was just like.
They just kind of disappear.
Yeah, they do, and that's one of the things that makes hunting fun.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, that's the bad news tonight. We got 2 other really good stories here of bucks that are actually bigger than that one. Maybe not total score wise. One was wider and taller, but the other one definitely had more points. So I tell you what, let's take our first break. We'll step outside. When we come back, we'll jump on the next one here. And once again, we'll be down in Ohio with this next story. So we'll be right back after this. All righty, we'll save this one off. Yeah, Denny, the only guy I would trust with that info is me, and I know I can keep it to myself.
True statement, Denny.
Right on.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I could share information on something that big with people outside
of the inner circle.
Yeah, the inner circle. You know,
right?
It's just.
I hear you there. It's just
even being on private land where we're at. You know, it's just. I think you wind up inviting people into to try to get into your area where you found this at and take it,
especially with a buck like that, because that you know that's going to be
it's going to raise
eyebrows raised, well sought after, wanting more info, and on display.
Right. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the second segment of the show, and been talking about a little bit about big bucks. I cannot lie.
You're right. You cannot lie. We're talking big bucks tonight. You know, we're getting towards the end of the season here in Michigan.
The stories are starting to come out.
Yeah, they are. They're. Which one are you showing next?
Well, this is the other one out of Ohio, and I don't have a ton of information on this buck. This buck actually was talked about on the forum that you and I belong to, the Michigan Deer Hunters Let 'Em Go, Let 'Em Grow forum. And this buck is called the Yoder buck out of Ohio.
Right, and I tell you what, you want to talk about a flat-looking wide rack.
Yeah, 34 inches inside spread, Belmont County, Ohio. And the person who posted this said he got it off the Deer Hunters page, Ohio Deer Hunters page. And the caption says, on our forum that we belong to, it says, "Who doesn't believe the Ron Pola buck is real now?" And that's where this whole thread started really going after this. After they posted this, was the fact they were comparing it to the Ron Pola buck, because I mean, that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that, how wide it was. And actually, I think Denny Steiner had posted a picture of this on Facebook as well, if I'm not mistaken. Denny, if you're still on, is this the same? I think this is the same buck that you posted here last week. So
I tell you what, you want to talk about something that mirror image, especially the shot you're going to put up now of this buck now, where you can actually use it as a bow
holder, right?
You know, and you got the one drop tine over there on the right hand side of the deer, but the 34 inches inside spread. I'm telling you, this is. I would be amazed to watch this walk through the woods.
Right. I'm trying to read that. I think that says 182 and 7/8.
Okay.
My eyes fail me. I can't read the screen here. But Belmont County shot on the 9th of November this year in Belmont County, Ohio. But what a tremendous buck.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you imagine sitting there and having this walk into your field at one end and having to take that 60, 70-yard walk just to get into bow range? And we don't know anything about the story, so we don't know how long this guy had to watch this thing get to him before he could shoot at it. But I tell you what, I'm just thinking about a couple spots on my property or your place there. You know, it's got a couple 100-yard walk to get to you, and you're watching this thing.
Right.
Man, it's amazing. And
well, looking at this buck, I mean, like Denny said, yes, that's the same picture they posted. I thought it was, but that buck, when I first saw that picture last week when Denny posted it, the first thing I thought of was Mitch.
Absolutely. I mean, if anybody, you just Google the story.
The Ron Pola buck.
The Ron Pola buck, and I tell you what,
it's got folklore all behind it.
It's behind it, in front of it, dragged through it. It was just
right.
The poor guy. I'm sorry. He was, for where he shot it. Nobody believes that there's deer that could live there, and
right.
But if you hear some other people's stories, it says, oh yeah, he knows what he's doing. So potentially he could be in a spot where there could be bucks like that.
Well, on the forum that I grabbed these photos off of, that's what a lot of people were talking about. And you had them on both sides of the talk. People that still don't believe it, and people who were vehemently saying, yes, it is a true story. They said, we know him well, you know. He was telling the truth. And one guy said I believe said he'd lay hands on the buck.
Yeah, and you know, and Matt Howard's chiming in that Belmont County has a nuclear power plant in it.
Oh, does it? That might explain it.
It might explain a little bit, but anyways, you're right. You know, it's like, you know, and when Mitch got that buck, it immediately went into something's wrong. You did something wrong. It was terrible. And here's a buck that, I mean, is almost a pure duplicate to me of kind of the way it looks.
Right. Yeah, it's just that big wide flat,
wide and flat,
and with the floppy ears. You know, I mean, you can tell it's an older buck.
Exactly. So the buck definitely being an older buck. Look at the face on that thing. You can tell it's been around a while.
Right.
And there's some spot in any state, you know, like the buck we talked about just in the previous segment where it was poached. They couldn't get a lot of photos of it. They couldn't, you know, track it to get it to a core area. There's places in this state, there's plenty of bucks that have the same thing go on.
Oh, right.
Whether you're in the lower or in the upper, that never see a human.
Right.
They're born, they get big, they die.
Right.
You know, and it's just one of those things. But that buck is just
incredible.
I tell you what, the picture with the bow is amazing. That's pretty cool.
That's an epic picture for sure. But I wish I knew more about that deer, the story behind it, and how it all unfolded. 'Cause, I mean, those are the things that's just so cool. Is when, I mean, whether it's, you know, your first deer or whether it's, you know, the biggest deer you've ever shot or your kid's deer, the stories. That's the part that just is so intriguing and captivating, and when they're good stories.
Absolutely, and it's something to you see once in a while, and they're starting to come out now as we get through all the seasons, through all the different states. These different types of bucks coming out, and it's one thing's kind of cool about the whitetail deer itself, and it's just how different racks can be.
Right.
How different does can be. It's just,
Right.
It's just not you have your typical 8-point, but like this, one's flat, one's just got mass.
Right.
And we haven't gotten to the third story yet.
No.
And so it's like, it's a cool factor. Not two deer are really alike.
No, not at all.
It just, I definitely would like to try to shoot one.
No kidding. That
I'm not going to lie. Sure, I'd take a whack at it. And
Matt Howard says, I'm not sure about the power plant, but it might. Right? Hey, Rick Rangel, thanks for tuning into the show tonight, man. Glad you're on listening. But, when I saw that deer the first time, that's exactly the first thing I thought of.
Gosh, and that's been so long ago now.
That was what? In the 90s? 92, 93?
That sounds about right.
89, 88, somewhere in there. So, Google it real quick.
I'm a Googling.
And just type in Rompola. That's all you need to do. And it'll pop up there. But, it's amazing that, you just type in a name and a buck, it creates an image in your mind of, of what you think about it, whether it be good or bad. I mean, everything, hole in the horn buck, the Hanson buck, all of those bucks, just tremendous bucks that they have folklore behind them. What does it say there? Has it got a date on it?
I'm looking.
Scroll on down there. I want to say it was in the 90s, somewhere in the 90s.
November 13th, 1998.
98. Okay, so it's a little later. I would have thought that was a lot earlier than that.
It sure seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. But 218 and 5/8.
218 and 5/8, and had an outside spread of 38.
38. So it was wider. Well, let's go back to
that one scored an inside of 34.
Right. So if you look at this buck here, that was 34 inside, and that was what, 38?
38 outside.
Outside. So probably an extra inch or two. So if that was the case, and you did that with the same bow, yeah, it'd probably still fit in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easy.
But it's incredible.
But it is.
Doesn't it look, I mean, we're looking at it here on another computer. I mean, look at how much it looks like that.
The ears, especially the ears in that picture right there that everybody can see on Facebook.
Right.
The ears, it's an old buck.
But look at the tines on the Rompola buck. They're a lot taller than the ones.
Yeah,
that
that's one thing that Mitch has got going for him in his buck there in 98. That his tines are, I think the tallest one looks to be at least about a foot. So
right,
so
and that was back before cell phones.
Yeah.
So I mean, you think about now with the advent of a cell phone. I mean, here's you can pick up one of these things, and you can start taking all kinds of photos. Not only that, we got trail cameras out there that will actually send photos to your phone, and you'll know exactly what's in front of your camera within minutes.
Oh yeah, that's the latest
compared
craze.
to back there in '98. I remember they had they were an Instamatic camera inside of a box.
But that was like the very first, and then people were starting to toy with that idea of thinking about it. And you're right. Now we're to the point where if you've got a cell service, pay $5 a month, put a camera on a tree, and your phone's lighting up, going, "Oh, I got something in front of my camera." So
right.
That's pretty cool, and amazing buck again from Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, we're let's go ahead and take our next break. We come back, we'll get on to the next buck that drew our eye this week. So we're going to step outside, take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this. And those of you who are online, you got
Kevin Craven's checking in. Jim Storks is checking in. Good to see you all. Merry Christmas. We'll be on next week for our New Year's episode.
No, our pre-New Year's.
Our
last show of the year. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
The last show of the year.
I won't do another show with you for another year.
Until next year.
Right.
So, hey, you guys, is anybody going hunting before the end of the year? if you guys if you got any plans to go out and if you still got tags, I'm eating tag soup this year. It looks like.
Do you have any snow up at your place?
We did when I was up there last.
Okay.
Which was 2 weeks ago. I don't know if we do now.
Yeah, the way it looks this week, I don't think we're going to be getting anything down here worth.
No.
Because I seen 40s Wednesday, Thursday, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, no snow down here. No ice.
Hey, Billy, what's going on? Merry Christmas to you as well.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Bill.
Here we go. Stand by. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show. No, third segment of the show.
Third segment of the show.
Third segment of the show. We've already covered 2 tremendous bucks.
Right, exactly. We're just kind of talking about things that have happened this past hunting season that we're starting to get in the news now, and these 2 have come up, and one good and one bad.
Yep.
But then another one came out of Wisconsin, right?
Man, well, before we get to that, look at this other one down here that I'm looking at. Geez, old Pete's. I tell you what, it just seems. I don't know if it's just because of the internet and the way news travels now, and the fact, just like we said, we got cell phones, we got trail cameras. Are we seeing bigger bucks now, or are we becoming better land managers and habitat managers and deer managers overall? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes. That doesn't tell me much.
I think there's a certain percentage of people now starting to take the deer by the horns, looking at the health. Antlers, looking at the health, looking at and starting to work on their land, or actually starting to look into the public land sector too as well. Getting out there and
right.
Definitely have to do a little bit more cleanup on our public lands. There's some garbage out there that needs to be taken care of, obviously. But I think with the internet, instead of waiting 3 to 6 to 8 months for the next magazine to come out where you read the story,
right?
It's almost instantaneous. Within a day of they releasing the article, it gets floated around and away it goes.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, talking about magazines, back when you took your hunt with
Greg Miller
and Pat Reeves and Pat Durkin,
yep.
When you entered in a magazine contest, right?
Yep,
and won that hunt.
And won that hunt, and then that was.
Was that how you got your information back then?
Was magazine, yeah, deer hunting was.
Matter of fact, I think it's right over there if you want to grab.
Right, exactly, and it just
go get it real quick. We got to show the people here real quick.
All right, hold.
Come on. I'll entertain the folks on the podcast till you get back. So, but and now, like I said, we're talking about with the advent of technology and the way we get our information and the way we start managing our habitat and deer. Look at this, guys. I don't know if you can see them get the shine. There's a young Danny right there on the cover of that magazine, Deer and Deer Hunter, or Deer Hunting. But this is the contest you entered, and this is the hunt that you won.
Yeah, exactly. So. And that article was, I think that says June. Does that say June?
Yep, June '96.
So that came out in June, and I took the hunt in October of the previous year.
Right. So, yeah, 8 months. And now we're getting trail cam photos sent to our phones.
Exactly.
So, but where were we going with this? I forget.
Well, anyways, so people are chiming in. Billy you were asking if anybody's going to go out hunting, right?
Yep.
So Billy's got a new longbow, and it would be a shame not to let it hunt this year. Jared Carpenter, who's up in Clara, said it would be nice to get some snow.
It would be. So that means there's no snow in Clara.
Right.
Middle of the state.
Kevin's going to be out back tomorrow and next weekend doing some hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Denny's heading to Missouri for late season muzzleloader.
Nice.
Tim is doing both. Ed DeWitt down says Ohio smoke pool season.
Nice.
So, and you're right, Tim. TV and social media has completely changed the hunting industry. Absolutely. Not going to lie about that.
That's been a big topic here in the last couple of days, especially with all these bucks. That was something else I noticed, was the fact that people, I don't know if it was more of a statement or a complaint about the way things have, I call it horn porn, where people are, addicted to big antlers. I mean, everybody wants to shoot a big buck.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think somebody's knocking on my window here in the office.
Yeah, it sure is. It sounds like it. Not sure. Somebody's trying to get in the cabin door.
I don't know.
In the cabin window. So, but it's like, it's just, and that's what it is. It's the age of almost instant gratification.
Yeah, it is.
We see it now, right? You shoot a buck, tag it, take a picture, post it if you can.
Right.
And that's the way it is. And then it's happening all over. So Jared Carpenter says deer season was crappy, and now he's going to focus on predators.
There you go. Another way to manage your land.
Yep, exactly. We talked about that last week. And, Charles Byram. He's even going to go out on his 29th wedding anniversary hunting.
That's a man after my own heart. That's a good wife right there, Charles. Maybe she's going to go. Maybe she's a hunter as well. I don't know if his wife goes hunting with him or not. But that's maybe that's the wedding gift that she's giving him, is allowing him to go out. He's probably going to say, "Nobody allows me. I go on when I want."
Right. So, but it's
I'm just messing with you, Charles.
But it's the way it is, and look, we're getting from instant game, almost live game camera photos,
right,
to
or video,
to shoot it, tag it, post it,
right,
that quick. Where you had to wait till somebody came home, took pictures of it, or ran it to the street, to the corner, to the drugstore to get the camera developed.
Yeah, get the film cartridge developed.
Yep, and then here, look what I shot.
And you hope and pray that the pictures come out.
Right, exactly. That what's this line through the middle of my photo? Wow.
Right. So, but getting on to the next story. This one really caught my eye this week. 51-point buck killed in Illinois. I don't know how close that is to you down there, Denny. It's got to be somewhat close, I would think. Closer to you than it is us, anyway. But this gentleman here shot this buck. It's called the Tucker buck. It's not only the largest scoring hunter-killed buck, but also, as far as the person who wrote this story can tell, the buck with the most scalable points.
At 47.
47. But the new that was the record. This new buck, while not as big inches-wise, but looks to sport 51 scoreable points. It was killed in Illinois, maybe a new world record for the most scoreable points. Keith, I can't even pronounce that last name, Sabaleski or something like that, from Johnson City, Illinois, killed a 51-point buck during the first week of the Illinois shotgun season. It's on private property when the buck for lifetime walked into his life. He says, "I was just sitting there and I heard the deer behind me. And after shooting and killing what he thought was a big buck, he was even in for a bigger surprise. When he walked up to it and looked at it, he thought, what a blessing." No doubt. I mean, that's just incredible.
Right, and if you look at the disclaimer in this article, it even says that the person writing the article says he thinks it's a world record buck. He was looking in some non-typical records, and the most he could come up with was
47.
47.
Yeah.
And there was a 45, a 37, and a 39. So he's thinking, after all said and done, that this might be.
It's talking about folklore. I mean, he makes reference to other bucks here that a couple of which we just talked about. The hole in the horn buck had 45. The Missouri Monarch had 37. The Beatty buck had 39. So, I mean, those bucks all ring a bell with hunters for sure.
Absolutely, and as if I was sitting there and I saw a buck like this come through, I'm not sure. It's just kind of ugly.
What?
I think I might let that one go. Another foot.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're nuts.
And there's the picture you're gonna put up next has got even a picture with the game warden holding the buck.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So who they called immediately upon shooting this deer.
Right.
Just to get everybody's story straight.
Yep.
What's going on here?
Look, I mean, that's at night. Okay. And then this picture's during the day.
Yep. Exactly. So
and this one here, this one was at night. And if you notice, right there on the deer's left antler is the zip tie with the tag.
Yep. So he probably got a hold, and yep, there's the white tag right there in that photo right there. And, you know, they definitely did what they needed to do to get it right, and had people come out and look at it. Obviously, conservation probably heard about it, and they were probably out there. Now, we don't know the time stamp of these photos, so we don't know if this is that afternoon or the next day or whatever.
This had to be the next day, because when he shot it, I mean, you look at that, that's at night. That's obviously out in the field after he shot it, and also probably here as well with the DNR official there. And as you can see in the photo, the tag is clearly showing. You know, for goodness sakes, guys, it's law all across this land. When you shoot a deer, before you do anything with it, tag it. You know, don't lose a buck of a lifetime because you get excited and you forget. I mean, it's easy to get excited over something like that.
Denny Steiner says Johnson City is 2 hours south of where he's at.
Yeah.
And Denny Steiner throws a little bit out to Charles Byram that he's not kidding anyone. He will be at home in time to take his wife to dinner.
Good man, Charles.
Oh, he's making the wife prime rib dinner.
Yeah, there you go. Jared Carpenter says these is like those in Ohio, Illinois, and such, but I also think poaching would take a rise. You know, unfortunately, you're probably right. You know, when you start getting,
I think it's already here. Would it increase? Well, look at the gentleman that did it twofold. Shot one, was back out in the woods, and obviously, I'm going to go on the assumption he might have been trying to put a doe down, but something bigger walked by, and he went and did it. Yeah. And look what happened. He still got caught.
It happens even with celebs. We've heard the stories. You know?
Well, we've heard them from A to Z. We've heard them that the person didn't have the right license. We've heard them, they didn't tag it properly. They
had somebody else tag it.
Yeah. So
all kinds of stuff. So.
Or shooting it in the wrong state or wrong county or whatever, and they're where they're supposed to be, and it's just a shame what these big bucks will tend to do to people.
They drive you insane.
They do, and it's one of those things that you've seen the Milo Hansen buck out there, and you see these big bucks that are out there. You see them all the time when we see them at Bass Pro, or you see them at
the hammer buck.
The hammer buck,
223 inches. That was 2015.
Yeah.
Biggest whitetail take in North America.
Right, exactly.
Mark Hammer.
Yep, right next to a highway.
Yep.
So, again, it goes back to what I talked about in the first segment about where these deer can be. They can be anywhere.
Anywhere, yep.
Anywhere, and it just takes the one to maybe live a little bit longer, have the good genetics, have the good food source. Hammer shot his buck. It had a cornstalk in its antler, right? So it's like it's agricultural deer. So, but it's one of those things that. But I hope there's more good than bad.
Me too. I mean, I like hearing stories like this. I mean, this guy's just setting out his private land, but still, I mean, it sounded like to me like he did not know that deer was around. He was surprised he turned around there it was. It wasn't like there was a story behind it, like I've been watching it for weeks or for years or whatever, and all of a sudden, it turns out it is.
I can tell you probably not, because reading some of the statements in this article, after shooting and killing what he thought was just a big buck, he was in for a bigger surprise.
Right.
So, he didn't have ground shrinkage when he walked up on it.
No. And like I said, I don't think he actually knew that deer was around.
It almost sounds like it listening to this, reading this article, and it's just one of those things that's cool.
It is cool.
It's a pleasant surprise.
So, well, I'll tell you what, let's take our last break. We come back, the last segment of the show, we'll talk about a couple of little quick things, and we'll wrap it up. So we'll be right back after this.
Last segment of the show, peeps. Got any questions? Throw them at us. Denny Steiner's complimenting Mr. Byram on a good man. It's good.
That's right. If Mama's not happy, ain't nobody happy.
Thanks, Billy Hoffman, for that comment.
I saw that. I was wondering if you wanted to go there. That's good stuff.
Right?
Oh, I forget which keyboard I'm using here.
What are you using?
Wrong one, obviously. All Alrighty. And you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Last segment of the show.
Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back. Last segment before Christmas. And all through the cabin.
Yeah.
Danny was stirring.
No, it's the calm before the Christmas storm, man. Christmas dinner's tomorrow afternoon. Ready to rock it and have a little prime rib dinner and call it a day.
Do you guys celebrate, like, for your family, her family, do you have, like, 2 different gatherings, one on Christmas Eve and one on Christmas Day?
We used to do, yes.
Okay.
We used to do her side Christmas Eve and then our side Christmas Day. But it's just kind of right now, we just do the 2 dinners. One is we bring her mother over on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day now is just kind of laid back, open some gifts, and
hang out. That's cool.
Make a little. Actually, we get a little breakfast. I don't know what you call them, a breakfast thing we throw in the oven, and as that's cooking, we're opening gifts and get breakfast served.
We have usually, that's something we've kind of started doing as the kids got a little older here at our house, is having breakfast. Then they tear into them because, I mean, heck, my youngest now is 17. So
right, exactly, and that's the thing. You know,
it's not like it was when they were 7.
Right, and you're starting to get into that where you're going to start having different families, and families are growing. You've got 2 grandkids now, and yeah, it's just wait a couple years when all of them are in full swing, and you've got 25 kids here and 25 people in your house that is just
no.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen.
Not in a couple years, it ain't.
Well,
it better not.
In a few years, whatever the few might be, you'll see.
Oh, hey, your brother's on, Terry. Hey, Terry, type in real quick about the funniest Christmas story with Danny as a kid growing up.
Yeah,
let us all know. I'm going to get some scoop on you right now.
Nah, I don't know if there's any.
So
I remember.
I talked to my daughter. We're going to try something, hopefully tomorrow night. If all goes well, we're going to try to start a new tradition.
All right, cool.
We're going to have a bonfire in the backyard tomorrow night. Not tomorrow. I take it. Not tomorrow night.
Christmas Eve? Or Christmas night?
Christmas night, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, just kind of hang out, have a little campfire going. Not a bonfire, but a campfire.
There you go. Why not?
That way I can burn all the Christmas paper.
I tell you what, the only thing you got to watch about that is you got to watch where the embers go.
Yeah.
Because I did that, I don't know, a few years back when we had probably a lot of the wrap gifts.
Yeah.
And I had white snow.
Right.
And it was just like black.
All over the place.
Yeah, just like, okay, that worked out well. So, but yeah, no, it's going to be a good Christmas, I think. And we're just going to hang out and do the Christmas thing, have a little prime rib.
Yeah.
And watch Christmas Story.
Is that your favorite Christmas movie?
It's a good question.
We kind of digressed here, folks.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of the end of
the big guy's coming. He's got reindeer.
Right.
So we're still talking about deer.
So, but, it is what it is, and it's always good to be just with family.
I was watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I've seen it twice now in the last week, and I love that movie.
I got my Christmas moose mug. I'm happy.
You got the eggnog mug?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I got it.
So, but yeah. It's Christmas is here, folks. So hopefully everybody gets some nice outdoor gifts for Christmas from your family or friends or whoever.
Denny thinks I tried to shoot my eye out.
Probably did. Did you get a BB gun for Christmas when you were a kid?
No, I never did.
I did.
I think I got it for my birthday.
And I got it taken away.
Oh, way to go.
It wasn't my fault.
Sure.
Okay, we'll digress a little bit here more talking about this story. So my cousin and I, this is when we used to go to Alabama for Christmas, down to my grandparents. And on my mom's side of the family, we had Christmas on Christmas Eve at my great-grandparents' house.
Okay.
I was, 7, 8, 9 years old, somewhere around there. And my cousin and I both got Daisy pump BB guns.
Okay.
And actually, I still got it. It doesn't work now, but I still have it. And I don't know if it was the day after Christmas or 2 days after, we were still down south, when we went out behind his house down to the creek. And we're down there just shooting into the water in the creek, just being kids. And we come back up to the house, and our parents are livid. One of the car windows got hit and broke with a BB. It was like a BB hole.
Yeah, okay.
But to this day, I still swear it was the neighbor kids down the road that he always had it out with. Shot that window out.
Oh, but you got blamed for it.
We got blamed for it. We got our guns taken away. Well, our BB guns.
Upon further investigation, now that you're older, do you think it's possible that your BB guns could have done that?
No, not where we were at.
Okay, that's
because we were down a big embankment, down in a creek bottom.
Yeah,
30, 40 feet down.
Even if it skips off the water, it isn't going to go.
Plus all these trees. Okay, and so the creek's in front of us this way. Like I'm pointing towards the camera here. The creek's down here. The car is back up the hill and over and in the carport.
You had your own version of the Kennedy BB.
Exactly.
The magical bullet.
Yeah, the magic BB.
It bounced off the water, took a hard bounce off a tree, bounced over your head, back. Yeah. How far was the creek from the house?
Oh, it was probably 300-400 yards.
Oh, I'm sure with a BB and probably back then with the...
It was spring loaded. It wasn't like a pump. I mean, it was a pump action, but it was a spring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm sure I'm sure that probably was your BB.
Yeah.
But you got blamed for it and it got taken away.
Both of us got our BB guns taken away, and I didn't get mine back till we came back to Michigan. Dude, I was ticked. So yeah, that's my Christmas story.
Matt Howard says a second shooter.
There was, and it wasn't my cousin. Actually, it was a third shooter.
It's funny though because back then, right? You're young, you're a kid. You're like, what? Now that you're older and now you really know, it's like, there's no way. There's no water that it ever could have. A BB could have. No,
a snowball's chance in Hades.
Right.
It could have. There's no way.
Next time down there, drag your dad down there and say, Dad, we're going to relive a moment, and you tell me how this worked.
He actually still lives down there. All right, he moved back down to the family farm. So
well, that's what I mean. Take him down there and says, I was shooting, and God knows how many years later it is, but
about 46,
45 years later, you can redeem yourself.
Yeah, I don't think I'm still in trouble though. But yeah, I couldn't use my BB gun for the rest of Christmas vacation.
And that was probably the first day.
Well, I got it for Christmas. That would have been Christmas Eve. We got those because we always celebrated it on that side of the family on Christmas Eve, and it had to be like the day after Christmas because Christmas Day we always spent at my grandfather and grandmother Adam's house.
And you didn't get it.
No, I know. It went in the trunk of the car, and that was it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I was ticked. I'm still chapped about it.
I don't blame you now that now you know about it. It's like what in absolutely.
Yeah. So that was my Christmas present gone awry.
So now I have this story. When Buck Snort is old enough, I can sit him down and
tell him how Grandpa was framed.
That's right.
Christmas.
Right. That's why he doesn't like Christmas like normal people.
That's right. That's why you're not getting a BB gun for Christmas.
It happens.
Oh, man.
You're going to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, right. So,
but, other than that, I don't think we're going to have any ice, per se, around here anytime soon. So we're not going to be doing that.
Nope.
Maybe in January we can get out and do some bunny hunting or something.
I started looking at the forecast here in our area for the next 2 weeks, and I think we got 3 or 4 days where it's going to be below freezing for more than 24 hours.
I did catch wind. I think Erica made mention that they're thinking a polar vortex is coming in January.
That's what I heard that on the news too. I'll believe it when I see it though. I don't put any stock into that until it actually hits. So we'll see.
Terry and my brother still has his BB gun and still uses it today. Okay. That's a single shot.
Okay.
Single pump. Daisy, and I don't remember because mine's a Daisy 880.
Okay.
And his was a Daisy, and I don't remember it.
I'll have to dig mine out and get it maybe next week. I'll bring it on the show.
We'll see. Let's get the gun that committed the crime.
Right now, if you pump that thing in and pull the trigger on it, the BB just kind of rolls out the end of the barrel.
Oh,
the springs. The springs
gone.
wore out. Yeah. So,
but see.
What's the coolest gift you ever got for Christmas as a kid?
Ooh.
Mine was not the BB gun.
Could have been my train, I guess.
Okay. I got a bike when I was 5.
I remember my bike, though. I remember that. My red bike. I remember that.
Yeah.
The train was cool. It depends on what age you want to. What age are we talking about? Because as I got older, when I got a stereo, that was like.
Right.
That was like. Woo!
Right. Well, we would always go down south. I was 5 years old, and I remember this little tiny box about yay big, and my parents, handed the presents out, and I opened that up, and it was a letter, and I'm like, "You cheap, rotten, no good." But at the very end, it said, Your big Christmas gifts at home. We couldn't bring it down in the trunk of the car.
Oh, yeah, it's
yeah, and we got you a bike. So
okay, all right. They're just
cool. Yeah, but I was like, I thought I got gypped.
See now, what I know now,
cool.
I would have put that into get you a button shirt with a pocket.
Mm-hmm. Put it inside.
Put it in. Let you open up closed. Right.
Right. So. No, man, Christmas is good. It's a good time of the year. It's,
it is.
Be thankful for everything.
It's not going to be a white Christmas. So, well, according to the weather guy, how technical you want to get about a white Christmas. He says there could be snow flurries, so you want to call that a white Christmas? Go for it.
Right.
So, but, yeah, nope. Big man's due tomorrow. And even though the government shut down, NORAD is still up and running.
That's a good thing.
That's right, because I'm going to be waiting for that guy.
Well, you got, as I say, you got the roof cleared off, but yeah, the roof's cleared off. We have no snow. So.
Ooh, look at that. Denny Steiner, a York fiberglass bow.
Oh, nice. Still has it. I wish I still had my bow from when I was, my first bow that I had. Bear whitetail. Too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It had actual cables.
Oh, yeah. Had the cables go to the pulleys?
Yeah.
My brother had a bear whitetail.
I think
right
everybody that bow hunts had a bear whitetail.
There wasn't many bows out on the market.
Them and Daisy BB guns. That's the two things that I think every boy had at some point.
We can talk about next week on the next week's show. But
we're running up on time.
Yeah, that's a perfect a segue into next week. We'll do a segment on that about the article that came out, the announcement that came out from Parker.
Yeah, that's
about
right.
Ceasing operations and the saturation of the market. And like you said, back in the 80s, there wasn't many to choose from.
Right. Before we go tonight, though, I do want to, Danny and I, we alluded to at the very beginning of the show that we actually, Thursday, we went over to a shop over here in Oxford, Michigan, Beyond the Ears. A good friend of ours works over there. And Dan Yass from PSC was actually up in Michigan. We went over to see him over there. But they had a big event going on over there.
They had a really good event. Actually, I didn't know this, but Chris said there was over 200 people there.
Yeah, I saw his pictures, but Backcountry Hunters and Anglers had like a meet and greet there. And Lan Tawney, who I believe is the founder of that group.
He's the vice president.
Vice president? Yeah. Okay. He was over from, I think he lives out west.
Yes.
From the story he gave, I take it. But, a lot of good guys over there. Got to see Brian Anderson from G5.
Brian Anderson was there. Rob was there.
Got to see Rocky. I haven't seen him in a while.
Rocky was there. Adam Kemmer.
Yep, Adam Kemmer is there, yeah.
More to come with him.
Yep.
But it was a good night. And it was only on a Thursday night for a couple hours, which was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. How's that drive home?
The drive home stunk.
Yes, it did. You want to talk about fog.
Well, the way I came back home was right through the state game area, around them borders of all them roads, and there's deer all over the place. And I was just I literally couldn't see more than 20 feet in front of my headlights.
Yeah, that's about it.
And my fog lights.
And I don't know, I think you got out before I did.
I stopped and got something to eat on the way home, then I came back through.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's what you did. So I was ahead of you then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was like, wow. I mean, it was
some serious fog.
It was some serious fog that I was like, and like you said, I'm watching that white line and I'm like, please don't be there standing in front of me because I don't have much stopping time.
Right.
20 yards.
I really thought that, on the way home, there was going to be a good chance of seeing a deer or hitting a deer the way it was. But it was really foggy. So
Jared Carpenter got an old Bear Alaskan.
Nice.
And Terry says, does it have a hole for oil in your BB gun? We'll have to check.
Yes, it does. And it's been oiled.
Okay.
Yeah. But it hasn't been oiled in quite a while, so I don't know. Maybe that's the problem.
You know, we could probably set up a range right here. And
You gonna shoot my car window out?
no, we'll shoot into the closet over there.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, we'll talk a little more about that.
Definitely talk about that next week because I think there's a to me personally they're kind of hitting the nail on the head. Kind of scared what they just went and did and said, "Whoop, that's it.
Yep,
no more."
So, yep, and we're talking about archery. We're going to be at ATA coming up in about 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks, ATA.
We'll be down in Louisville, Kentucky. So
yes,
we'll be
will.
bringing reports from Louisville on the new gear that we see and people we get to talk to. So we're looking forward to that.
Yep.
Going to see the guys from Hunter's Blend down there.
Hunter's Blend. We'll see the guys from PSE there.
Absolutely. So
we'll see the guys. We'll see Stan.
Stanislawski. Eric Springer.
Thank you. I wasn't going to say the other one.
From Stan's Releases.
Thank you.
Yep, and Copper John.
So we'll go down. We'll go see them.
Looking forward to seeing some people that we only get to see some of them once a year.
Once a year, really.
Yeah.
It's that's about it, you know. And unfortunately, Dan, we do most of our work with up here, lives close enough that we see him multiple times a year.
Yep, absolutely. So, well, I'll tell you what, that's going to do it for us on the podcast this week, folks. Stay tuned next week.
We'll see you next week with the last show of the year.
Absolutely.
Until then, have a good Merry Christmas.
And for those of you on the live stream, you got anything, throw it at us real quick. We'll entertain a few questions if you got anything you want to talk about real quick before we go. As I save this segment off. You know, and I want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's on tonight. I mean, without you guys, you know, chiming in.
Without you guys chiming in and making it fun, that's why we do it for, like you said, because, you know, where else can you have a guy from Illinois going after a guy in Iowa with throw-ins from Ohio,
right?
With a little tad of Michigan. We're missing Dan tonight from Wisconsin.
Yep.
Dan Anderson usually shows up from Wisconsin.
Yep.
But
we got Tim see us from West Virginia.
Tim's down in West Virginia. Yep. So, you know, thanks to all you guys that and gals that come out, watch us, throw us some questions, comments. Billy Hoffman, I won't say any more than that.
Well, he was talking about this magazine here.
Yeah, I know. I know it was.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's true.
It is true?
Yeah.
You're a centerfold in this magazine?
It's not really.
Well, I want to see before we go. I want to see. Actually, let me just go to the.
You gotta go to the.
What page is this on here?
See, as he's looking through a magazine that's way old.
Cover stories are shown in red. Really? Really? That's what it says, red.
Well,
Come on.
You know, what do you expect? It's red.
Uh-huh. Okay, page 16. That's not the centerfold.
Well,
no. So
I know what he's getting after, though.
So you're not the centerfold. All right. Is this the one?
That's it.
Look at that right there. Danny, right there. You are the center. Well, you're in the center of the page. I don't know if it's centerfold. You don't have a staple in your belly.
No, I don't.
So,
come on, Denny, work on that.
Come on, Denny. You got to get you down there, buddy. I wish I could help you out, man. We're gonna have to do something next year. I don't know.
Yeah. So, we'll hope to see everybody. Let's see. 2 weeks to ATA. That's Louisville. I wonder what kind of weather we're gonna have on the drive down there.
Don't want to talk about it. Don't jinx it. Do not jinx it. I don't want to hear about it. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. I think we'll go ahead and wrap things up.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Randy Duncan, Merry Christmas to you guys. Hoping to see each other over the holiday. Absolutely. Hope to, Randy. Definitely. Matter of fact, Red's talking about doing maybe a little bunny hunt or something, so we have to get you out on that.
Yeah.
See if we can get out together.
We need your 2 hound dogs.
There you go. Absolutely. So, anything else?
Nope, that's it. I want to get to Christmas. I can't wait. I'm going to go get ready to sit in front of the TV and watch NORAD.
Okay. All right. That'll do it for us this week, folks. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.